Alrighty everyone, welcome to the stream. Sorry, I had to quickly mute my mic there. I was quickly doing something before I should quickly do something before I started the stream, but welcome on in. Now, I was going to do some Last of Us Part 2 today, but I'm a bit tired, so we're just going to do some general... And it's been a bit since I've done Train Sim World, so we're going to do a few Train things. So yeah. So we're going to drive this train, which is a German train. The OBB, and we're going to do... Oh God, is there a further journey than an hour and 13? It's like 4 minutes, an hour and 3... An hour and 12. That's less than... Oh, here we go, an hour and 25. Dynamic, I think it was 13th of January. Sure. So everyone's doing well today. I actually forgot to see who's live. That's the reason why I hopped on Switch earlier. And I said, you know what, let's go live. Bob Ross is live, Wolfabell's live, ESA is live. Oh shit, GDQ's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'm gonna watch that. So I won't be streaming at 4. I'm gonna be watching GDQ. Cryptic's live. Oh, Stevie White's live. There's 61 people watching. There's 61 people watching Arkham Asylum right now. Shockingly, no speedruns. There's a lot of people that are streaming Arkham Asylum that aren't English. Wow, Fortnite's currently got... Wow, what is with a lot of these games not having high... Fortnite's currently got 83,000. And then Apex has got... COD Warzone's got 44,000. Like, these games are... Twitch today is just not... It's not it, right? It's just not it. Today is not the day for games, I've noticed. I don't want to smelt my mic. But for anyone wondering what does my mic smell like, it smells like a metal. It smells like a mic. That's what. I don't even know if it is metal. Is it metal? It's kind of like a metal, bit of metal, like a metal. That's me. All right. So let's do it. So, to start this, actually before we... I guess while we're unlocking the doors, let me get back in. I forgot I need to do this. So, to start this round, I need to look at the master switch, turn that on, unlock the right door. That's now loading them. That's the door. I need to move the reverser to forward. Close the circuit breaker, which I don't think I need to do. I don't think I need to do at this moment. And then I need to insert, put that in drive, and then anything else I need to do at the moment? I don't think so. No. Alright, now I believe if I'm correct, this is just a single one, right? Oh no. Why am I driving a super long one? What the fuck? Wait, am I? If these are connected, then yes. If there's no one in the... Yeah, yeah. Son of a bitch. So I like driving the small one because it's not as restrictive as where you can park. But I'm having to drive a long one, which means it's going to be kind of restrictive to where I can drive. Which is kind of upsetting, but it's fine. Let's see if I'm right. for this door to lock. And go earlier than I meant to. Yeah, if you look, like, it's quite... Is it two? Yeah, it's two of them. Yeah, so usually it's from, like, here to about here. But it's kind of restrictive. I'm going a bit fast. I'm speeding at the moment. Also, guys, fun fact, so there is a new Injustice video that's gone up on the YouTube channel, or Injustice 2 video. I have finished the series, they're all up on YouTube now. I'm also planning on starting a Ben 10... I forgot what the game's called. It's right next to The Last of Us Part 2, it's like on the left of that. It's Ben 10 Power Trip. It's called Ben 10 Power Trip, and I personally don't like it because it's an interest. Like the graphics look fine, you know, kind of, you know, and all that. It's more of just the problem I've got with the game at the moment is, and I say this in the video, is there's no sound effects at all. Well, there are. There are sound effects, I'm not saying there's none at all. I'm just saying that what I mean by there's no sound effects is during cutscenes there's hardly any sound effects. So, like, there's a scene in the game where Gwen, like, pushes Ben's shoulder, and there's just no sound at all. It doesn't make a hit sound or anything like that. It's literally just super quiet. I don't understand why. Another thing as well is that there's no animations when you hit the enemies, so... If you hit an enemy, there's just no animation at it. Yeah, there's no animation when you hit an enemy. The only animation when you're in combat, the only animations you get when you're hitting enemies are the animation, the sound of your arms moving. And apart from that, there's just no more animations. And no more sound effects. The only sound effects is when you punch. That's it. And there's no, like, you know, there's no, like, physical sound effects from when you hit an enemy, which is one thing I just don't like. But yeah, I love that they just spawn. They don't, like, cool if they just kind of stood up and, like, if they, like, kind of were just, like, say if they were sat here. And then they just kind of stand up, or like teleport out of the chair, and then start walking, and follow a line and turn out the door. I've also noticed one thing: they don't just they do just kind of stand there. I just think it was really funny. I got a friend request received by Sabine Cancho. I'm really bad with names. Get my mic a little bit closer. It's now my mic is now currently hanging off my desk. Well, the stand is currently. Thankfully, it's quite a heavy mic. So I'm having quite a time with this mic. Pretty fun time with it. Not in a weird way, shut up. I got bored earlier, so I decided to, while editing, to lurk, not to lurk, but to watch CoffeeZilla. I got bored, so I decided to watch the video from like 3 years ago now? No, 3 years ago, which is the Save the Kids one, which FaZe K was in, which FaZe K was thinking with. But you don't know what that one was. Basically, there was phase. Well, how it started was basically phase, like publicly how it started was phase K, Tico, Nikan, Jarvis, and a couple others, and Summer Rae and stuff. They all basically promoted, or not promoted. Well, yeah, they did promote. They basically all made like little videos saying, well, so they had one promotion video where they were basically like, you know, I'm proud to be an ambassador. Well, they tweeted that and said I support Save the Kids coin or whatever. It was apparently a shit coin to save children. And it was like this whole charity coin. Like, it wasn't a real charity coin. No, it's fake, obviously. Whoa, this train is just like really... Damn. Okay. But yeah. So anyway, basically they faked their thing. What also happened was another thing that happened as well was in that situation. Oh yeah, and then so anyway, Summer Rae made her like short little video talking about that she's like an ambassador for Save the Kids Code or whatever. So obviously people, the cryptocurrency nuts, all bought into it, and it was a pump and dump scheme because what happened was after it had been after they made the little videos about it, basically they pumped it and then they dumped it. So yeah, it was a pump and dump scheme. Which was really basically yeah, so like it showed that K like pumped it and stuff, and then after it dumped they basically all just left. They deleted all their tweets and everything. They deleted the video and all that, and yeah, which that's a pump and dump schemes. Yeah. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I don't usually, I'm personally, I would like to refer to myself as a cryptocurrency hater. I don't like cryptocurrency. Mostly because most of cryptocurrency most cryptocurrencies are just a scam. Same with NFTs. Most of them are just scams. So. And I can't be asked to just learn about cryptocurrencies. But yeah. I was watching something last night and I brought up that it was an MLM. I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was on stream, a multi-level marketing scheme. I can't remember what it was. It was something about paying someone to spread the word, and then you spread the word and I'll pay you this much or whatever. I think that was actually on like yesterday's stream, maybe. I was streaming The Last of Us, so why would I have brought up an MLM? I don't know. Shit. If you don't know what a pyramid scheme is, pretty much a pyramid scheme, or MLM, a multi-level marketing scheme, is basically where pretty much it's basically like it's basically a way to scam people by also having making it so it's like, you know, you have one person spread the word, and then you basically, you know, pay them, and then it's a whole thing, and then eventually it gets to the point where the person at the top of the pyramid's getting the most money and the people on the bottom is like missing out and stuff or whatever. I don't know exactly about. I don't know the nitty gritty about pyramid schemes, but yeah. But But what was funny was I was watching was it Slickmuff? I was watching a video. I think it was Slickmuff. I was watching a video yesterday, not yesterday, day before yesterday, where it was about the gameplay of Suicide Squad, and it was about the whole. Because basically, you guys don't know about Suicide Squad. Basically, they had a free open beta, or a closed beta, though it was basically just an open beta, because basically, if you applied for a code, you were basically getting a code. That's what they claimed. It was for certain people who applied, but apparently nearly everyone got a code anyway, so it didn't matter. Now, also, I remember someone. No, I think it was Luke Stevens who were talking about it. I was watching Luke Stevens' video about NDAs. He brought up that with an NDA, you can't exactly bring up that you. He was actually wrong and clearly didn't understand much about an NDA. Because he brought up that you're not allowed to talk about that you've played a certain game, which, as a QA, I can say that's wrong. It kind of. So, with an NDA, I'm under an NDA at the moment. And pretty much, I can tell people what I've been playing. The only thing, but that's because what I've been testing has been announced. If it hadn't been announced, if the trailer hadn't been revealed or anything like that, I wouldn't have obviously been able to say. And before, and I didn't even join the company until I think it was before the trailer came out, but I think it was after it was had a few things happen. But pretty much, Christ. As I've made it, I just want to go forward a bit more because I've but basically with an NDA, so I can people can, if it's a game with an NDA, if it's something that people already know is going to exist or going to happen, then pretty much you're allowed to talk about it. You can say that you've been thinking, because the thing is as well is the reason, like I was really confused for a second, because basically he claimed that basically with an NDA, he basically claimed that people who he claimed that apparently the NDA said that you couldn't play you couldn't say that you've played Suicide Squad, which I haven't seen the NDA. I didn't apply, but I highly doubt that's what it said, because it's a game that had already been announced. And not only that, as someone who has people on my friends list who I saw were playing the game because it legitimately showed up on their PlayStation Network, I literally I went into my PlayStation, like when I looked at my friends list, which I like to do to see who's online, see what they're playing, quite interested to see what people are playing. It's actually how I found out. That's actually how I found out High on Life was actually on PlayStation 4. Was because I saw one of my friends playing it on PS4. I was like, oh shit! I thought it was originally I thought it was just an Xbox exclusive, but no, it's on PlayStation now. But what's it called? But that's how I found that out, because of going through my friends list. But I saw they were playing Suicide Squad. I was really confused. I saw it said closed beta and stuff. Was it closed alpha? It was closed alpha or beta, whatever it was. But the thing is, like, if there was a rule in the NDA basically saying, oh, you can't tell people you've played this, well, then their PlayStation would basically be breaking the NDA. What they're going to do, sue PlayStation? So, yeah. So that was clearly incorrect. And I'm assuming what he meant, though, because I think he explicitly said that. I think what he meant was you can't tell people what you're doing, blah, 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 or about what you're working on or whatever, or about what you're thinking. is basically you can't, with an NDA, you usually can't, like, if there has been times where I've been under an NDA with a project that hasn't been public, and I couldn't tell you guys because no one knew it was going to come out, and it was before it came out, or before it was announced, and then when it got announced, I could then explain, that's what I was doing. But it's just so the reason for that in your NDA is basically just so that you aren't accidentally, so you're not spoiling the reveal, because as a developer we love reveals and we love watching people's reveals of shit, especially stuff you've been working on. It's one of like the most insanest things ever. But it does really suck. Like you will see how much it sucks when leaks happen. In the Last of Us Part 2's Grounded Part 2. They showed that in the trailer, cause the trailer earlier yesterday, they uploaded a trailer for the Grounded Part 2 documentary, which I will not be watching on stream, because I can't get the Last of Us Part 2, and apparently, I have Last of Us Part 2, but apparently it's only going to be on the remastered version, not the original version, which is kind of stupid. I wish it was on both, but, it's fine. But anyway, unless they do bring it to the original, which would be cool. Then I might watch it on stream. We'll see. But I will be watching if they upload it to YouTube like they did with the original one. I will watch it, and it does look pretty good. I did enjoy the original Grounded. Documentary. As a developer myself, I love watching documentaries about other studios do. Now, for anyone who's like, well, you're just a QA, you're not a developer. I'm also a level designer, so there you go. Thought you might want to know that. Though I have level designing skills, and I was a level designer for a certain company, which I'm not going to talk about. But I'm not that position anymore. But what's it called? What's it called? No, I didn't become disgruntled or anything, don't worry. That is actually quite a common thing, though, especially in the industry, with a lot of secrecy as well, is with employees becoming disgruntled. It's one of one of the most scariest things I think a company could go through, but yeah. But I'm excited for the Last of Us Part 2 Grounded thing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh god, so I watched something earlier on Facebook, which was really fucking weird. So I don't know when it was. I don't know if it was recent or it was a while ago, but there was this video I saw on Facebook because I decided to go through Facebook Reels, and because obviously Facebook's got Reels, which they merge Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels together. So yeah, because obviously Instagram is owned by Facebook. Well, it's actually owned by Meta, and Facebook is also owned by Meta. So yeah, but originally Instagram, because I originally thought that Facebook was changing to Meta, because that's what everyone kept saying. But then eventually I noticed, oh wait, no, Facebook is now being its own thing, and they're building, because obviously saying, oh, Facebook's changed it isn't. It didn't. They didn't. Nothing really changed. It was that they made a parent company and called it Meta, and then Meta is the parent company. So yeah. Originally, I was one of those people who thought, oh my god, because everyone kept telling me they were changing, so I was like, oh, okay, it's interesting. It's time to stop breaking. Yeah. But anyway, continue what I was talking about. So I was watching this video. It was in Medford or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. But it was these religious like people that were like protesting outside this. I forget where they fucking protest. They were protesting outside this place anyway. And they were protesting against feminism, and they had signs that were saying like, if you are homosexual or if you are masturbate or whatever, well then then I dislike you, because apparently masturbating is against God. Apparently, are you saying that God didn't play with his 6-inch cock? No, I'm joking. I remember watching an episode. So talking about 6 inches. Jesus Christ. I remember watching an episode of not episode, but I remember watching a clip from the Conan show on YouTube. And pretty much they were talking about it was an episode where it was a little bit of his show where basically he went to go watch the movie Magic Mike XXL, which is I've never seen it, but apparently it's not about magic, it's about sex, or stripping. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, fun fact: I was on the train yesterday. Yeah, I went to Dennis, got verbally abused. So I actually did two. So yes, for fun fact, actually, I did 2 streams yesterday. I did the Fortnite stream to test my microphone, and I also did my Last of Us Part 2 stream. And yeah, for anyone else wondering why I'm not using a camera, it's because I'm tired and I look like shit right now. So I look like I'm also like absolutely just dead inside right now. I'm really fucking tired, so I can't be asked like. I can't be asked to turn my camera on. And also, it wants me to do the whole fucking thing again. I can't be bothered. So, yeah. But anyway, so I was watching this video, and... So it was one of those... Oh, God, I can hear myself. It was one of those, like, religious, like, ones. Where these people... Well, they were a bit weird. Because they had this weird belief... They're one of those preachers that are, like, quite sexist. And seemed to want to regress, especially the woman, seemed to have wanted to regress back to before having rights, apparently. Which is just so stupid. So it was this, anyway, the video was of this woman, not a religious woman, it was just this woman. She was walking down, it starts with her just walking down the road, and then next minute, what we see is basically her kind of having a bit of a debate, a bit of an argument with these religious people. Now, there was this woman holding a sign saying that feminists are whores, which I personally don't think so. And she was going. They were seemingly going off of a lot of these religious people, were going off of a lot of the sexist stereotypes of women, saying that like the whole stereotype of that women should have long hair and should just wear like long skirts and dresses and shit, which, by the way, no, okay, that's just not how the world works. But anyway, you know, and also there's the guy who was holding up this like sign that was saying, you know, if you're a homosexual or masturbate, or if you're a whore or a porn lover or whatever. And this guy who was on a sign, he said, whoever owns, you know, I want to speak to the owner of this woman, acting like she has an owner. Again, going to the stereotype of that, of this, not the stereotype, but saying that, like, because apparently, what it seems like is they live their life of their relationship, and also treating because they had their daughter with them as well, and then, like, living, and try to teach their daughter this lifestyle of, like, and it's a very unhealthy lifestyle. No matter your opinions or anything, it's still a very unhealthy lifestyle. And they were teaching her this lifestyle of that, like, men, this old lifestyle of that apparently men are, like, more dominant than women in a relationship. And I've been in a relationship with a lot of guys who seem to think that, because I've been, like, a control relationship before. I fucked off with him because he was a dickhead. I was like, don't tell me what to do, buddy. I was like, fuck that. I was in a consensual relationship that was like that, which is called BDSM. Fun fact, slight flags. There you go, I've opened up to you guys about that. So, I consensually, you know, had been in a relationship once where, you know, I was told what to do, what to wear, what to basically, yeah. I was consensually in a controlling relationship. That was my choice, but they were teaching her to live a life, to have, like, apparently, to try to live a life in a non-consensual controlling relationship, or like that. Apparently, when you grow up, your partner owns you basically, and that, you know, he can tell you what to wear, what not to wear, how to live, and it's like that's just not how the world works. Like, you know, everyone has, you know, so they seem to like regress back to like the time before women had the right to vote, and you know, before, and back to the times when like it was apparently the norm. I'm doing that in air quotes, for women to be, you know, the more submissive in the relationship. You get me? Like, not having, you know, not really having a say in the relationship, and that the man was like you know, what he said goes, and that is just like, no matter your opinion, and it has been proven by specialists that is what causes unhealthy relationships. And it does, because no one wants to be in a relationship where one person's controlling the other, because you're both adults, all right? If you seriously can't like live your life on doing what you want and having your own choice, and you're having to rely on someone else to make these choices for you, and you're a grown adult, you seriously like shouldn't be living with. You should be still living with your parents, not this guy. It's like, but you know, it was just such a stupid video, and they were still trying. They were training this woman, like, you know, like how they like in their lifestyle, like saying, you know, like when trying to get her husband, they were constantly referring to her husband as her owner. And she kept saying, "Oh, my husband's not my owner. I live my, you know, he's not my owner," and stuff. Which is just true. You know, no one in a relationship, no one owns anyone. Okay, she's not a dog. She's not a pet. And I just hate this mindset of like people, you know, trying to have a hierarchy in a relationship. It's like, no, fuck off. Like, you know, and it brought up and every time I see that, because I've walked by before, and I've seen a lot of people, and I've seen it both ways as well. You know, I've seen it, you know, I've seen people, I've walked down the street before, and I've seen, you know, men being treated like, you know, like shit. You know, I've seen men being treated like they're worthless. Men treated like they're, you know, I've seen men that have been treated like, you know, they're not in charge of themselves. And that, you know, and stuff like that, and it's awful. And you know, unless it is consensual, but even if it's consensual, like, you know, people like that type of stuff. So, you know, and they wouldn't look unhappy. But I remember seeing one guy, he looked well unhappy. I was like, my guy, he looks well depressed. Sorry, this is getting slightly political. It's not really political. It's just rambling on a little bit. What else was there as well? There was something else that I remember seeing. But yeah. I've also recently, I don't know why, I got bored, so I decided to start looking at the Daz Games Andrew Tate situation from like a year ago, nearly 2 years ago now, which from like a year and a half ago now, which was just it was such an insane. I loved the video, by the way. It was such a funny video. My favorite line. It was such a good video. Not really funny. I would say it was a good video. What I would say though was my favorite line. I think one of my favorite parts of that video was when Andrew Tate accidentally, when he was on a podcast and he accidentally had an accent for some reason. So, because he said matters, he was like, you might think that your life matters, or whatever. Or no, he was like, you might think that it was something like, I think it was like something like, you might think that, God, what is it? What's the other word for job? What's that other word for job? Like, yeah. Oh, he was like, that was it. He was like, you might think your career matters. And then Darren was like, matters? He's from Cornwall now. And then he was like, he made a Bugatti tractor joke, which was really funny. I love that joke. But yeah. Matters. Yeah, it doesn't sound like someone. I've been to Cornwall. That doesn't. I was young as a child, so I don't remember exactly, but it doesn't seem like what people from Cornwall would sound like. That has been... What has it been? It's been... It's about 18 years since I was in Cornwall, I think. I don't remember, I was like 2. I was like 1, 2 years old, I don't remember. So, yeah. I also remember when he got, oh god. There's also that time he got accused of being, a groomer as well, which... Oh god, clearly people do not understand what someone who a groomer is at this point, you know, because they just say about everyone at this fucking point. And so, what happened was this girl decided that she would get in touch with Famous News, which we don't know what Famous News is. I'm missing this. I was busy talking about Michael McCrudden. Right, you know what? Sorry if you were wanting to get off there. Unfortunately, fuck you. Basically, Famous News is a channel owned by Michael McCrudden. Yes, the man who made Before They Were Gones, or Before They Were Famouses, about dead people. It still wants me to try and stop at that location. I can't reverse there, though, that's the problem. You know what? Let's try something. I don't think it'll work. Actually, it might work. We'll try it. We'll try it. But yeah, but basically, Michael McCrudden. If you don't know who Michael McCrudden is, he's basically a guy who, right. I'm putting this into, is it hold? Yep, and then I want to remove that. And then want to move this to 0. And then I want to turn the reverser to neutral. Off, and then I want to take that. Nope, don't uncouple. Take that. Okay, I want to turn off the train here. I was wondering why I can get through the dollar. You may be wondering, well, why? Okay, and this is going to be why. I'm going to try to reverse the train by going in the opposite direction. I don't know if I can. I don't know if this is possible, but we'll see. Because you can't reverse a train. That is one thing you cannot do. You can't reverse a train. So, unless you can. I could just put it in reverse, but... let's try this. So if we close this door, sit here... put that there. Is that in forward now? Is it all off? Okay, is this gonna go? Okay, we're moving. We are moving. Right, we're doing it. We are moving. Good, okay. Right, so we are currently in the wrong way. We're currently in the wrong direction, which we do need to be going, but we will be going back, and then while we're getting people on board the train, we'll go back to the other side of the train, and then start driving it that way. It's just, I don't think it's just kind of a pain in the ass to try and reverse back, so yeah, I also do need to be careful that I don't actually hit the red light, because if I do, I will fail, and I will have to restart the entire journey. So, yeah. And this is the point where we're going to start being late, which is just where depression is going to start hitting. But yeah, but anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, so basically, let me tell you the whole story of what happened, pretty much. So basically, this girl went to Famous News, which is a news channel that's owned by Michael McCrudden. Michael McCrudden, he is a man who made a channel called Before They Were Famous. And he did a little bit of a series called Before They Were Gone. Now, Before They Were Gone... didn't do great. Because it obviously... So, Moist Critical, you guys might know who Charlie is. He made a video about it. I need to take this off. I need to then put this on 0. I have to do all this or it won't let me drive the opposite way. Do that. Get up. Okay. There. Okay. So yeah, and pretty much it was oh shit, it's like there, and pretty much it was anyway, so this girl got in touch with Famous News and pretty much said that... Now, her story did not make sense. It made no sense at all. Her story did not line up at fucking all, by the way. Because, basically, she claimed that, in the video, she met him when she was 13. Apparently, they were in a relationship at that point. Allegedly. Allegedly, anyway. So yeah. But anyway, what then was said was that basically, she then said that apparently they met at 13 and were talking apparently the entire time, allegedly. She then claimed that Darren... Okay, that's games, I'm just going to say Darren because it's just easier to say. She claimed that Darren basically waited till she turned, and then apparently when she turned, and then basically apparently she met him again when she was 19, and they had sex, apparently smoked up, and then allegedly... Apparently he followed her OnlyFans, though apparently she said that she had OnlyFans when she was 13, which you can't. Well, no, did she? Oh, I can't exactly remember how it went. Basically, what he said was basically they met at 13. They had sex, then they smoked, and then had sex apparently. And then what else had then happened was she then claimed that apparently she then basically said that apparently that apparently after a bit he then ghosted her, and he then apparently wanted nothing to do with her, ghosted her, and then but apparently this was when she was 19 apparently. And then apparently stayed subbed to the OnlyFans, though apparently the thing is that makes no sense because you can't have an OnlyFans at 13. And also, not only that, OnlyFans apparently, I don't think OnlyFans existed when you were 13. Because if you were 19 in 2021, you'd be, you'd be, because it was 2021 when this had apparently happened, because it was a year before the Andrew Tate situation, which was in 2022. So that would have been... so that would have been 13, so 18, 17, 16, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 5 years, so 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, so 2016. So did OnlyFans even exist in 2016? Fuck knows. But anyway, yeah, so pretty much, now a lot of people started claiming that it was Darren's daughter in the picture, which, aka Sarah, which I do follow on Twitch, who I do follow on Twitch. So Sarah was actually not in those pictures. The reason why Sarah actually got brought up in this was because of Sneeko. Now, if you guys don't know who Sneeko is, he's a massive cook, a C-U-C-K. He basically brought up a picture, or he searched up Dazgame's girlfriend. One thing I've noticed as well, I think there's like a fan Wikipedia page, not a fandom or anything, but like a little thing. I don't know. And it's filled with a little bit of misinformation because they seem to always miss out Kate. I'm not a fan of Darren or anything, but I know pretty much the relationships he were in that he's been public about since the start of his internet career to now. Because pretty much from the start of his internet career, he was already dating a woman called Kate Mayer, I think her name was. And him and Kate had a girlfriend, had a daughter, not a girlfriend. They had a daughter called Sarah, who is, you guys, if you know who Darren is, you know who Sarah is. He's done videos with her, and she has her own Twitch channel, Sarah Lee Cool, I think is how you pronounce it. If you guys want to go check it out, she does a few streams. She's quite entertaining to watch. I hop by some of the streams when she's live, though she hasn't streamed in a little bit now recently, because the thing with her and her dad is they like to travel. They travel quite often. So she's sometimes she's rarely home a lot of the time, so she doesn't stream as much as she used to. But yeah. I think the last stream I ever watched of hers was, I think, Outlast. It was either Outlast or Five Nights at Freddy's, because I watched her Subnautica stream, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Outlast. So yeah, I think there was one thing I remember. I used to watch her a lot of her Instagram stuff. I'm not a fan of her or anything. I just, enjoy her content, and she's quite a chill person. But I remember there was one thing which was always kept happening on her Instagram, and she always avoided them. And it was always that people would come into a chat on her Instagram streams and always just say, can you get your dad, or always just, can you tell your dad about me or whatever. It's like, I don't always bring up a dad because obviously dad's like got 8 million subs and shit. It's like this is, and I'm one of those people who like comment saying, oh, this is Sarah's stream, not Darren's stream. Stop asking about Darren, blah blah blah. And you can tell she don't most obviously mustn't like those comments, obviously, because she obviously just does her best to avoid them, which I would as well. If my dad was a famous YouTuber, I would as well. Just avoid those comments and deal with comments that are actually asking me questions. So yeah. But yeah. I forgot what the other thing I was going to say was as well. Oh yeah, anyway, continue what I was talking about. Basically, yeah, so Sneeko brought up a picture saying Darren's girlfriend. Now, it came up with bringing up Sahila Clifford, but for some reason brought up a picture of Darren with Sarah, which I don't know why. So I would say probably Google's fault. But yes, he did date someone called Sahila Clifford, that was actually after Kate. So Kate and Darren broke up in 2018. They mutually broke up. They broke up, but they said that they broke up as friends. They didn't break up they did have a daughter together at least, and she decided to stay with Darren. So I tried to stay with Darren. My mum didn't force her to be like, oh, you're coming with me, whatever. And they mutually broke up. They still speak. Apparently, from what I'm assuming, they do still speak to each other. Though I'm not entirely sure, because it kind of weird, because it seems like because on her Instagram, I follow both Darren and Sarah, and like, it seems like neither of them follow her. So either something happened between then, or they just don't follow her. Maybe I don't know, because I don't even know if they followed her before the breakup situation. But she does still have pictures with Sarah and Darren on her Instagram. I'm not going to say her Instagram because I can't remember. It's basically just a name, but I don't remember. It's not only that, I just don't remember her Instagram that well. But yeah, anyway, so continue what I'm talking about. And then, yeah, so they broke up in 2018. And then about 2019, which was a year later, he then started dating a woman which he had been friends with for a while, for a little bit, called Sahila Clifford, who had featured in a few videos. She featured in the two I think it was Two Girls at a Wedding or something like that, which I believe the title was like a parody of Two Girls One Cup, but I think it was like two girls at a wedding or whatever. And it was based on one of his vines as well, where he basically was like, where it was like these two women at a wedding, and then they'd basically keep saying, calling the bride a fat bitch and shit. And I think it was also supposed to be like a joke about like two-faced people who are two-faced, who are like, oh yeah, they're are really nice to them and stuff, but then behind the back are just absolute arseholes behind the back and stuff. I ran into a lot of people like that. So yeah. And anyway, so continue what I'm talking about. Pretty much, she featured in that video, did Sahila, where she was that woman who came into the bathroom. If you've seen the video, she came into the bathroom and she said, "Oh, imagine seeing you showing your face around here," or what after that performance, blah blah blah. No offense to Sahila, she actually wanted to respond to one of my Instagram comments. It's just I didn't like the way she announced the line. It sounds like someone announcing. It sounds like how someone would announce the line, not announce. How someone would do a line in like a shit school play or whatever. Now I'm not saying I'm amazing actor, actress or anything. I'm not, I can act. I'm just not good at it. I can act. I'm not like professional. I'm not like I'm not like movie professional or whatever. I'm not most critical. All right, I'm not that good of an actor, alright? Fuck, you know. Was I in the Mockingjay Part 1? No. No, alright? Alright, Moist Critical, that he was in the Mockingjay, alright? That's, you know, he was famous, I'm telling you, he was. You know, was I Officer Greg? No. And Officer Greg touched me. Not in a weird way, but as in the role, it just, when he died, I really felt like when I saw Officer Greg, I felt like I was also Officer Greg. I felt like I feel like I also felt like Officer Greg was there. I felt like he was right in front of me. I felt like he was, I felt like he was talking to me. You know, yeah, I felt like he was right in front of me, Andrew. But yeah, but anyway, it's pretty much, they had this whole, yeah, so a lot of people started saying that it was his daughter, which it wasn't. Sarah, the girl who took a picture with Darren, was actually the girl. Anyway, so Famous News made the video. The Tate brothers then basically decided to suckle onto that. Bit of controversy there on their Rumble, in I think a 1 hour Rumble video, whatever it was. And yeah, so they did that, and pretty much yeah, so they did that. And they basically said to the girl that basically they will help with like suing him and stuff like that, and they'll help with like court stuff and all that. It was just stupid. It really was. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. So they basically said, "Oh, if you want to sue him, we'll help you." And so yeah, we've got the best lawyers ever and shit like this. So you know. But anyway, yeah. So you know, Darren doesn't really respond to any of it online, though he did say, I believe there was a clip where he did, there was a screenshot when he did comment on Famous News's, on a video that Famous News did, saying a load of shite and shit. Not he didn't say a load of shite, but that, well, he did, but I mean, that's what he said. It was a load of shite. He said, what a load of shite. That was the comment. Not that his comment was a load of shite, it's that he said, what a load of shite. So yeah, he then eventually did make, and you can find actually my reaction. I talked about it ages ago. It was back when it happened. But he made a video on Twitter. I thought he was going to do it on YouTube or something, maybe on his second channel. But no, he talked about it on his main channel. Not on his main channel. He talked about he posted the video on his Twitter, and it was a response to the drama that happened. And he said, and to be honest, he basically said. And to be honest, I do believe him. You know, it does seem legit. His unlike hers, his story actually made sense. His version of the events made sense and actually lined up. So what happened on his side was, on his end, or what he basically said happened was that the first picture she showed was a picture of him and her of him like wearing a white, like greyed white jumper, like a kind of whitey grey jumper. A light grey jumper is what, with like a lanyard, and that was actually at a convention back in 2016. So yeah, back pretty much the start of his YouTube career, pretty much the start of his career, or like pretty much when he started getting very more recognised than he already was. So yeah. The next and then he said that they, you know, that day they'd only just taken a picture, a meet and greet, and that is all that had happened. Nothing else had happened. They didn't speak prior, they didn't speak after, until 5 years later. 5 years later, when she's 19, they matched on Tinder, because Darren at the time would have most likely, I believe that it was 2021, so most likely, yes. Yeah, so I believe this was about a year after he broke up with Sahila. So he was on Tinder, and like most people, which is, you know, fine. You are allowed to be on Tinder. So they matched on Tinder. They went on a Tinder date, and basically, Darren, obviously, it had been 5 years by that point. Darren would have done a ton of tours. He'd have done a lot of tours. He'd have done a lot of stuff by this point. Okay, this train's just taking the piss to move. He'd have by this point done a lot of tours. He'd have done a lot of stuff by this point. You know, he'd have met a lot of people, a lot of meet and greets and stuff. So you would, if you think about it, like you meet so many people at meet and greets and stuff, you most likely forget about some of them until they bring up the picture and maybe like, oh, I remember that. But anyway, so continuing what you talk, and he also just showed pictures of him at a convention, at the same convention, wearing the same lanyard and clothes that the picture was taken in, which obviously back up his previous statement. He then said that anyway, so then they went to a they went out for a drink to get to know each other. They then went home. Apparently, I don't know if it was her home or his home. I'm not entirely sure. I'm assuming probably his house. They then had a consensual one-night stand between two consenting adults, which is legal in the UK. You can have a consensual one-night. You can have a one-night stand. One-night stand, if you don't know, is basically where you will only have sex with that person for one night, and then that's pretty much it. You're not planning on having a relationship with this person or whatever. That was kind of it. Then she then in the morning apparently had showed him the pictures of them meeting at Comic-Con. Not Comic-Con. I don't, because he claimed it was Comic-Con, though I don't know if it was Comic-Con. I would say it was probably VidCon, but it might have been. I don't know. But yeah, he then noticed that she was a fan, and like most YouTubers, he didn't want to date a fan, so he cut it off with her. And pretty much, obviously, ghosted her because obviously you don't want a relationship with fans, which obviously makes sense. You know, you don't really exactly want to date because it doesn't, because then if a lot of the main reason why most people don't want to date their fans is because you want to go out with someone who loves you for you, not loves you because you've got a really popular YouTube channel or whatever. Especially, and that's guaranteed if they know you from your YouTube channel and not from just general life, I guess. So yeah, he especially from a meet and greet picture, especially if it was someone who was at the meet and greet, that means they were a fan. So yeah. After that, not really anything happened. She must have, I think she was offended that he was ghosting her. Which, you know, I do understand, because like, it can be quite annoying if someone ghosts you, and doesn't exactly. One of my biggest pet hates is when people ghost you and don't give a reason. It's like, you can't just ghost someone and at least, you know, not like when I don't ghost people, because if I fall out with you, I'll give you a reason. I won't just completely ghost you. I don't, you know, I like to give people closure, because I know, you know. Especially with me, because I've got JD, which is generalized anxiety disorder, so I'm just constantly shitting myself all the time, and I've got constant anxiety, so that's one of the reasons why I always that's why I'm one of the worst people to ghost, because I'm always anxious, and then and then that makes it worse, and then yeah, it's never great to ghost me. Because yeah, sometimes it can really fuck me up sometimes, but yeah. But anyway, continue what I was talking about. So yeah, but pretty much he said that he understood why you know, why she must have felt like him ghosting her was cruel, but he then basically said it didn't warrant, or it didn't deserve, the ghosting didn't deserve for her to be accusing him of grooming allegations. And especially, like, grooming allegations are a very, 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 like, bad thing to accuse someone of. Like, but I'm going to tell you now, I can say this now. I am telling you now, people who say, you know, accuse people of being a groomer, they clearly do not understand what grooming is. I have seen people in YouTube comments refer to, like, some trans people as groomers and stuff, or people who support, like, the LGBTQ as groomers. How is that grooming? I don't understand. Like, you just clearly don't understand what grooming is if that's what you think grooming is. Like, you know, I know people who are groomed, and I can tell you now, what some people on the internet seem to think grooming is, I can tell you now, and they will also tell you that that is not grooming. But yeah. But like, you know, I feel like one of the most annoying things is when you're accused of something that's just not true. Like, it happened to me not long ago. I was once recently accused of sexual assault, which that fucked me up for a little bit. Basically, what happened was I was somewhere. Okay, fuck it. You know what? I'll come out about it. I was at college. Yes, I'm currently doing a college course at the moment. That's why sometimes my son's at my mum's or my sister's. Sometimes that's how, it's either that or it's just to give me a break and think. Oh, usually my sister's on my college because I'll take it because I'll take it my sister's. It'll be hers for a day or during the day, and then I'll go pick him up before we go home because she lives the same place where my college is, and I'm going there for doing a media course at the moment to learn video editing and stuff. I don't know how to do video editing. I impressed my tutor with knowing how to keyframe edit, and also yeah. So anyway, continue what I was talking about. But I was like, fuck it, I may as well just do a college course because I've got nothing else to do at the moment, you know. Paternity's fucking me up, so. And I found out I can still, even though I'm on paternity, I can still do it at college. I can still do college stuff. And also it's like, you know, and thankfully, you know, thankfully my sister only lives a couple, like pretty much 5 minutes from my college, so I can just drop him off at my college, not at my college, drop him off at my sister's and then go to my college. She's fine to look after him. She's not really doing anything. Because it's either her or her boyfriend who's looking after him, because either she's working. Because she started a job last year, by the middle of last year. She started a job middle of last year, and so it's either she's working. She's same age to me with twins. She's 19, I'm 19. So it's either she's working. So if she's working, a boyfriend will look after him. And I trust a boyfriend, love a boyfriend. A boyfriend's he's just so nice. But yeah, and my son Nathaniel loves him as well. He always goes to him. It's really funny. Like, I remember when my sister went to go get when my sister sat, because he was sat in the middle of the room, and then I think my sister would try to get him to come over to her because it was when he started crawling, but then Nathaniel went straight to her boyfriend instead, and we were just all laughing because it was just so funny. But yeah, but anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah. But anyway, so I was at college. I'm weird. I've got some issues. So, but I don't know if that really has any part to do with it. Basically, I was just kidding with this kid. It's weird. It sounds weird as a kid. I was just kidding with this person who was in my group, and basically, now the problem with this kid is he was homeschooled before coming to college. So he was not the best with social situations. They actually, originally the college didn't think he was even going to get through the entire day of the first day he was ever going to be in, though he did. But yeah, but it was thing. So what? Yeah, so he was obviously homeschooled, so it wasn't the best at social situations. Anyway, so what happened was basically, as a joke, I pretended to give him a prostate. Now I did not touch his arsehole, okay? What had happened was when I grabbed him by the arm in like a restraint hold, because me and my sister both went to a special needs school because we both have anxiety, and it was the only school we could go to that it was the smallest school that we could go to that was near us at the time. So yeah, and that's how they used to hold some of the kids that had anger issues. And so I did that, and I hovered my hand not close to his arse, but quite distant from his arse. But then he claimed that I apparently stuck my finger up his ass through his pants, which I remember when I had to go into this meeting about the situation. They said that, and I tried my hardest not to laugh because it was just so fucking funny. Well, not when I got accused of it. I did something that really hurt, and I almost knocked myself out in college the day I got accused of it. I'm not going to explain what happened, but I almost knocked myself out when it hurt. But yeah, anyway. Well, I had a concussion after it. That was what happened. You can probably understand what happened. But yeah, anyway, basically, What was I? Oh yeah. So anyway, um, also oh God, there's something so stupid that happened recently as well. Was even though I didn't do anything, I didn't actually I didn't do what I was accused of. The place is still they still are treating me like I did it, and it's just so fucking because I've been put on like this behavior thing for something that I just didn't fucking do. So apparently the college I go to, they'll just also, oh my god. So thing is, there was no camera footage to prove me or him wrong, but they were on his side for some fucking knows reason. Now, what's really fucking funny is his mum. Originally, they were going to call the feds. I don't know why. What would the feds do? Nothing. But anyway, pretty much what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, so basically, they claimed that... Now, thankfully, his mum understood it was a joke and understood that, you know, she understood that it was a joke and stuff. They then decided not to call the federales. That's not... I don't think that's it. They then decided not that they don't need to get the police involved. Because they didn't do anything. But even if they did get the feds involved, what would happen? Nothing. Like, what are they going to do? Sit us down, ask us to talk about what happened? That is what actually would happen. They would have us into it, bring us into a room and explain what our side of the story most likely, and then listen to his side, and then I don't know what happened. But yeah, anyway. The funniest thing as well is because for my address when I signed up, or applied to go there, what was really funny was they, the address I put, like parent and carer, was my own address. So when I get letters from them addressed to the parent and carer of me, it's so funny when I open them. I'm like, ooh, parent and carer of me. Ooh, okay. And then I read it. I remember when I had my parents' evening type thing report that they gave me. It was so good because I'm also curious what they'd ever do if they decided to try it. Like, what would they do? Because they don't have my parents' actual number. So what would they do if they tried to actually... They have my number. That's the all they've got. What didn't they do if they tried to ring home? To try to ring my parents? What do you think? I'm trying to think what they would do. Like... Because, like, I'm old enough to where my parents don't really they don't really exactly get involved in my life much, if you get what I mean. Like, as in, like, they don't get involved in any, like... you know, stuff I do at home, outside, unless it is something that they need to be involved in, which they don't. But yeah, but it was just so, it's just so stupid that the college is still treating me like I actually did it. I didn't, but no, but according to them, I apparently did. Though apparently I'm very popular because apparently some of the people there, they kept asking when I was going back or trying to, like, basically explain to them that, you know, I didn't do anything and stuff, which I was so proud. I was so happy. Oh. I could build a cult if I tried. But yeah, but... Oh, there was actually once, I remember, and then we went to McDonald's. I went to, because I live around the corner from, or I live around the road, or I live right kind of down the road from a McDonald's. So, I remember I went to this, we were at this, I went to this McDonald's with someone at college. And... we were just sat there and we were talking about the situation, and the next minute I looked around and the kid who accused me of it walks past and I'm like, oh shit, and we were just, it was while we were talking about the situation, like, oh my god, I was like, fuck, and they were like, what? I was like, it's him, and he was like, is it? I was like, yeah, and so damn, so it was so funny, but yeah, but yeah, but that's pretty much kind of all that really happened. Not really much. How fucking far do I have to fucking go now? I've got so fucking far. Oh no, actually I don't have so fucking far. I've only got like a little bit left. But yeah. Oh, it's because my wheels are frozen, that's why. How do I fix that? I think there is a way to do that, to fix it. It just has to be frozen, I guess. I still don't even know where I put on anymore. But yeah, it still annoys me to this day that they still think, alright, I'm gonna stop here because I'm getting kind of bored. But it still kind of really annoys me that they still treat me like I actually did it. It's just so fucking stupid. Oh, I had another fucking things I talked about on Facebook, and they didn't like I did that. So they didn't like that I talked about the situation on Facebook, so I had to explain to them, and yeah. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not gonna read out anything, but I will probably be live maybe tomorrow or maybe later today. It depends if I do a Last of Us stream today, but I'm not sure. But if you guys enjoyed, if you guys did, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll see you guys. Good.